Good morning, everyone. My name is Saujanya. I'm from TDWRDC Women Mehboob Nagar. I am from Computer Science Department. Today, I'm going to discuss about OSI reference model from computer networks. OSI stands for Open Systems Interconnection. As it connects systems of all types, it is known as OSI, that is Open Systems Interconnection. This OSI is certified by International Standards Organization and it was first introduced in 1970s. It consists of 7 layers, that is physical, data link, network, transport, session, presentation and application layer. Now let us see the diagram. Here all the 7 layers are present on the both sides, that is at host A and at host B. This host A and host B are two clients. They can be two clients, there can be two servers, or one can be client and the other one can be a server. So at the sender side we have all the 7 layers, and at the receiver side we have all the 7 layers, and between these layers we have the protocols. Protocol is nothing but set of rules in which communication is specified. So between the application layer there is a application protocol, and between the presentation layer there is a presentation protocol. Between a session layer there is a session layer protocol, and between the transport layer there is a transport layer protocol. And this and the below layers, that is physical, data link and network layer, they communicate via communication subnet boundary. And between a network layer, between two network layers of the devices, we have network layer host router protocol, and between data link layer we have data link layer host router protocol, and between physical layer we have physical layer host router protocol. So physical, data link and network layer, they come under hardware, whereas a transport, session, presentation and application come under software. So this OSI model is a combination of hardware and software. Let us see the data unit which is being exchanged. So at the application layer, the data unit which is exchanged is application layer data unit, and at the presentation it is presentation layer data unit, and at the session layer it is a session layer data unit, and at the transport layer it is transport layer data unit, and at the network layer it is a packet which is being transferred from one layer to the other layer, and at the data link layer the data unit is called as a frame, and at the physical layer the data which is being transferred is a bit. So this is how the exchange takes place by using OSI model. So here we can see D7, D6, D5 and so on. These are nothing but data units at that particular layer. D7 is data unit at 7th layer, that is application layer. In the same way, we can also see H7, H6, H5, H4 and so on. So these are the headers at that particular layer. And at D2, we can see that there is an header and a trailer which is being attached to the frame. Next, at the physical layer, we have digital data that is in the form of ones and zeros. So at the sender side, this digital data is being transferred through some transmission medium. It is converted into electrical signals and it is given to the receiver side. And at the receiver side, the electrical signals are converted back to digital form and they are transported to the above layers. Now let us see what is happening in the physical layer. In the physical layer, the data comes from the data link layer and the bits are transferred into electrical signals. They go through transmission medium and they pass to the receiver side. And at the receiver side, these electrical signals are again converted into digital form and the data is being given to the data link layer. There are some functions of the physical layer. The first function is line configuration. So this line configuration, it defines how two or more devices can be connected physically. Bit rate. the number of bits sent per second. Next is the synchronization of bits. The sender and receiver not only must use the same bit rate but also must be synchronized at bit level. So the synchronization takes place with the help of a clock. Next is transmission mode. So this transmission mode, it defines how the transmission takes place between two devices on the network. So the transmission can be taken place in either simplex, half duplex or full duplex mode. Next is topology. Topology is the way in which network devices are arranged. So we have bus topology, mesh topology, star topology and tree topology. Next, coming to the data link layer, the data link layer receives the information from network layer. It is being divided into header and trailer. The header is kept at the beginning part and the trailer is kept at the end part, and the entire thing is known as a frame, and it is being transferred to the physical layer on the sender side. Whereas at the receiver side, the data from the physical layer goes to the data link layer, and again we have a header and a trailer, and this information is being passed to the network layer. So the functions of this data link layer are framing and physical addressing. Framing is the data link layer translates the physical raw bit streams into packets known as frames. The data link layer adds the header and trailer to the frame. The header which is added to the frame contains a hardware destination and source address. Physical addressing. The data link layer adds a header to the frame that contains a destination address. The frame is transmitted to the destination address mentioned in the header. So here we will be mainly adding physical address, that is the address of the device. The other functions are flow control. Flow control is the main functionality of the data link layer. It is a technique through which the constant data rate is maintained on both the sides so that no data get corrupted. It ensures that the transmitting station, such as a server with higher processing speed, does not exceed the receiving station with lower processing speed. That is, in flow control, mainly the flow of the data is being controlled by the data link layer. So here always the sender will be fast, but the receiver may be slow. So this sender and the receiver should be in a synchronization in order to control this flow. So that is taken care by data link layer. Next is error control. So error control is achieved by adding a calculated value CRC, that is a cyclic redundancy check, which is placed to the data link layer's trailer, which is added to the message frame before it is sent to the physical layer. If any error seems to occur, then the receiver sends the acknowledgement for the retransmission of the corrupted frames. So here mainly error means what? Changing of ones into zeros and zeros into ones is the error. So if any bit is changed, then that bit is corrected. So this check is done by cyclic redundancy check. Next is access control. When two or more devices are connected to the same communication channel, then the data link layer protocols are used to determine which device has control over the link at a given time. So here what happens is, as we are in a network, we can send the data to any of the devices, to two or more devices. So which one is active, that is controlled by this access control function of the data link layer. Now let us come to network layer. So this network layer, it receives the information from the transport layer. It adds a header in the network layer, and the information is passed to the data link layer at the sender side. And at the receiver side, the information, that is the data, is being sent from the data link layer to network layer, and from the network layer it is being sent to the transport layer. There are some functions of this network layer. The first one is logical addressing, and the second one is routing. Logical addressing. A network layer adds the source and destination address to the header of the frame. Addressing is used to identify the device on the internet. So we all know that each system is given an address. So that particular address is called as logical address. So this address is kept by the network layer so that it identifies the device. Next is routing. Routing is a major component of the network layer and it determines the best optimal path out of the multiple paths from source to destination. So routing is to find a way, is to provide a way. So it will be providing a way in such that the shortest path from source to destination is being taken. Next is a transport layer. So this transport layer receives the data from the session layer and it gives to the network layer. So when receiving the data from the session layer, it divides the data into some segments and each segment is given a header. And along with this header, some sequence numbers are being kept at the center side. And on the receiver side, the data from the network layer goes to the session layer, and at the session layer it combines all these segments into one depending on the sequence numbers. Then the data is being passed to the session layer. The functions of session layer are service point addressing. So the service point address is also known as port address. Computers run several programs simultaneously. Due to this reason, the transmission of data from source to destination, not only from one computer to another computer, but also from one process to another process. The transport layer adds the header that contains address known as a service point address or port address. The responsibility of the network layer is to transmit the data from one computer to another computer, and the responsibility of the transport layer is to transmit the message to the correct process. So here we will be giving the data to the correct process by identifying its port address. The next function is segmentation and reassembly. When the transport layer receives the message from the upper layer, it divides the message into multiple segments and each segment is assigned with a sequence number that uniquely identifies each segment. When the message has arrived at the destination, then the transport layer reassembles the message based on their sequence numbers. As we have seen in the figure, the data the data is being divided into some sessions and each session is given the sequence numbers. So that is segmentation at the sender side, and on the receiver side all these segments are being assembled based on their sequence number. So this is reassembly. The next function is connection control. Transport layer provides two services, connection oriented service and connectionless service. A connectionless service treats each segment as an individual packet and they all travel in different routes to reach the destination. A connection oriented service makes a connection with the transport layer at the destination machine before delivering the packets. In connection oriented service, all the packets travel in a single route. So connection control, the connection between the devices should also be controlled by the transport layer. So while controlling this, it provides two types of services. One is connection oriented and the other one is a connectionless service. In this connection oriented service, we have only single route, whereas in connectionless service, there can be any number of routes. Next is a flow control. The transport layer is also responsible for flow control, but it is performed end to end rather than across a single link. So in the transport layer, we will be will be seeing how the data is flown, whether the data is flown from the sender to receiver in synchronization mode or not. That is controlled by the transport layer. Next is error control. The transport layer is also responsible for error control. Error control is performed end to end rather than across the single link. The sender transport layer ensures that message reach at the destination without any error. So the main duty of the transport layer is also error control. So as we are transmitting the data from end to end, end to end, that is from the sender device to the receiver device, we should see that there are no errors. We should see that no errors occur in between the transmission. Now let us go to the session layer. Session layer receives the data from the presentation layer, and in between some synchronization bits are being added to the data, and it is being given to the transport layer at the sender side. And on the receiver side, the data from the transport layer is being given to the session layer, and it is being from the session layer the data is transported to presentation layer. The functions are dialog control and synchronization. Let us see dialog control. Session layer acts as a dialog controller that creates a dialogue between two processes, or we can say that it allows the communication between two processes, which can be either half duplex or full duplex. So here we are talking about a network of systems. That means one system is connected to the other system. So these systems are connected in order to provide some communication. Uh, Dialog control is to control the devices which has to send the information. So this can be either in half duplex manner or full duplex manner. Next is the synchronization. Session layer has some checkpoints when transmitting the data in a sequence. If some error occurs in the middle of the transmission of data, then the transmission will take place again from the checkpoint. This process is known as a synchronization and recovery. So here in the session layer at the receiver side or at the sender side, we will be adding some checkpoints. So these checkpoints are added in order to find out the error. So if an error occurs, so we'll be starting from that checkpoint itself. Next, coming to presentation layer. Presentation layer receives the data from the application layer. So here we will be adding a header and data, and this is given to the session layer at the sender side. And at the receiver side, the session layer gives the data to presentation layer, and from the presentation layer, the data goes to the application layer. The functions of presentation layer. So the functions of presentation layer are, first is translation. So translation is the process in two systems exchange the information in the form of character strings, numbers, and so on. Different computers use different encoding methods. The presentation layer handles the interoperability between the different encoding methods. It converts the data from sender dependent format into a common format and changes the common format into receiver dependent format at the receiving end. So translation is mainly the translation of the data, that is the translation of your high level language to some low level language. So for this, what it uses some different encoding methods. So this is like changing the data from one format to another format. So the sender will be having one format and the receiver may have some other format. So we will be transforming into some common format, and from that common format to the receiver format. So here mainly high level language to low level language translation is done. Next is encryption. Encryption is needed to maintain privacy. Encryption is a process of converting the sender transmitted information into another form and sends the resulting message over the network. So this encryption is mainly done for security purpose, that is to maintain some privacy. So encryption means you convert the data into some form which cannot be understood by normal users. So we will be encrypting the message and then transferring the data over the network. Next is data compression. Data compression is a process of compressing the data. That is, it reduces the number of bits to be transmitted. Data compression is very important in multimedia such as text, audio, and video. So, this compression is nothing but you reduce the number of bits. So, this reduction is very much useful when you want to transfer text or some audio files or some video files. Next, let us come to application layer. Application layer provides various services. But here in the diagram, we have seen three services, that is X.500, FTAM and X.400. So this X.400 is for message service. FTAM is file transfer, access and management. X.500 is used as a directory service. So here in the diagram, we are seeing only these three services among many number of services. So these three services are provided by the application layer. Application layer is the topmost layer. So it is also known as a desktop layer. So it is the thing which the user sees. It is the interface which the user communicates. So application layer, at the center side, application layer will be passing the data to the presentation layer, and at the receiver side, from presentation layer, the data goes to the application layer. There are some functions. The functions include file transfer, access, and management. An application layer allows a user to access the files in a remote computer, to retrieve the files from a computer, and to manage the files in a remote computer. So, to transfer the messages or to transfer some files between some system and some other device which is located remotely, that is some faraway place, to allow the transfer of files between our system and faraway located system, we use this FTAM application. Next is mail services. Application layer provides a facility for email forwarding and storage. So you all know that we all will be using mail services. So for that mail services, we mainly require this application layer. Next, directory services. An application provides the distributed database sources and is used to provide the global information about various objects. So here the application layer is providing the main service called as directory service also. So this is the summary of the layers. In a physical layer, we have seen that raw bits are transmitted over a medium. That is what the bits. Bits are nothing but ones and zeros. So the digital data, that is ones and zeros, are being transmitted through some physical medium to provide mechanical and electrical specifications. Next, coming to data link layer. Data link layer, the data is organized into frames. That is the data means what? The data which comes from the physical layer. The data which comes from the physical layer is in the form of bits. So these bits are being organized into frames. That means a group of bits are being formed into frames to provide hop to hop delivery. That is delivery of the data from one device to the other device. Next, coming to the network layer, to move the packets from source to destination to provide internetworking. So in the network layer, we will be moving packets from source to destination. So the data here is called as a packets. Next is transport layer. It provides reliable process to process message delivery and error recovery. So between process to process, the communication is done in transport layer. Next is session layer. Session layer helps to establish, manage and terminate the sessions. Next is presentation layer. So presentation layer is used to translate, encrypt and compress the data. Next is application layer. Application layer accesses to network resources. So it is the main duty of the application layer to also check the availability of the resources, so that some particular request is being taken care. Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. If you have any queries, any suggestions, Please post me. Thank you.